White House blaming everyone but themselves for those rising gas prices. But while they claim the pain at the pump is not their fault, the administration's considering a plan to block all federal offshore oil drilling, which the oil industry is warning will send prices even higher as we head into the winter. Frank Macchiarola, Senior Vice President at the American Petroleum Institute. Frank, great timing to have you on because the president was there speaking in Maryland about our economy, about manufacturing, about jobs on a day where we did get the latest jobs report from the Labor Department. But you're looking at this side of things that includes inflation on the gas and oil front. He keeps talking about these leases, that there's an untapped resource there, and that those that are sitting on those leases are not tapping into them and questioning why they are not. What is the answer to that, Frank?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Sandra. Look, the facts are simple. At this point in the Obama administration, they had held 60 lease sales for oil and gas development on federal lands and waters. In the Biden administration, they've held 6. Current leases, we actually have the most productive percentage of leases in 25 years. So the administration says one thing and does another. They talk about the need for more supply, but they don't offer oil and gas leases. They talk about the need for infrastructure, but they cancel pipelines. They talk about reducing costs, and then they raise taxes. And finally, they talk about promoting energy development and exports for our allies overseas, and then they talk, on the other hand, they threaten an export ban. The administration needs to change its policies.
Yeah, and a lot of that every time you and I have a discussion, you keep talking about a lot of it is the rhetoric coming from this White House. And you question why a lot of these oil and gas businesses would do more when they're being told they're being shut down. The end of the fossil fuel industry, as we heard candidate and now President Joe Biden say. Gas prices under this president right now are up 63%, $2.39 when Biden took office. We're now at $3.89 and climbing as I watch wholesale gasoline prices in today's trading session. Frank, we're heading into winter, and these energy prices are on the rise, and this could inflict a lot of pain on American families who are already suffering through sky-high, 40-year high inflation. Home heating costs are expected to surge. I mean, we're looking at some unprecedented levels of some of these prices for people to heat their homes, Frank.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Sandra. And the administration had warning. In fact, a year ago, they began tapping into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and now we're at the lowest levels of that reserve since the 1980s. They also, instead of adding supply and increasing production in the United States, they focused on investigations through the FTC for price gouging. Over the years, that's been done several times, and they've never found any price gouging. And so the administration really needs to focus on policies, long-term policies, not short-term election cycle
All right, I want to
policies.
make sure that I get this in here because, by the way, here's the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which you talk a lot about, and this is meant for emergencies. Right-hand side of the screen, you'll see that serious decline in our reserves, our emergency reserves, because this administration has gone about trying to bring gas prices down by tapping into that, and now we're looking at it going back to levels not seen since the early 1980s. I want to play this out for you because this is the administration. While gas prices were going down in recent weeks, they've since turned around, taking credit for that drop. Listen.
It is the fastest decline in gas prices that we have seen in over a decade.
You saw the president act so aggressively to bring gas prices down, make it easier for Americans to afford gas.
In the month prior, gas prices had come down by a very significant amount.
Gas prices are down $1.30 a gallon.
Yes, we're seeing gas prices down over $1.30.
But now that gas and oil prices are on the way back up, this administration is already going back to blaming Vladimir Putin.
Well, look, Sandra, if your policy on gas prices or on energy is to take credit for a day-to-day drop in prices and shift blame for a day-to-day increase in prices, you have no policy at all. The fact is we need a long-term strategy in this country that focuses on supply, that focuses on American production of oil and natural gas. The strategic resource that we have is actually right under our feet. It's in the Permian Basin in Texas. It's in the Bakken in North Dakota. It's in the Gulf of Mexico and the Outer Continental Shelf. That's where we need to look.
Real quick final question on that, because I'm out of time. But the president just said that Republicans don't have a plan to bring down inflation, to bring down oil and gasoline prices. Are you seeing Republicans lay out a clear plan if they're able to gain back control of Congress in November?
Well, we at API, we've offered a plan for both Republicans and Democrats. It's called the 10 and 22 plan. It promotes energy development for oil and gas. It promotes pipeline infrastructure. It knocks down tariffs. These are the types of things that the administration and Republicans ought to do to lower gas prices and provide relief for the American people.
Got it. Appreciate you joining us. Frank Macchiarola, thank you very much, from the American Petroleum Institute. Trace.